discussed about some important characteristic features of the first three kingdoms. Let me set it. Yes, okay. Nivedita, you're raising your hand. You want to ask something? Nivedita, you're raising your hand. Okay, yes. So in last class, we started our discussion about five kingdom classification that was proposed by Robert Whittaker and along with the effects of Carl Woese, okay, and Ernest Haeckel. And there we discussed the criteria for five kingdom classification, names of those five kingdoms, and we also discussed some important characteristic features of the first three kingdoms. So to move on with the class, my first question to you is that in which kingdom, about out of those three which we have already discussed, in out of these three kingdoms, where will you place a bread mold? Bread mold, that is a kind of organism only. So in which organism, in which group you will place this bread mold if it is given to you? Okay, Sheen, yes, tell.
Ma'am, fungi.
Fungi, yes, because we know that bread mold, or you take that is other forms are also there. That is, yes, and I can see that many more have written in chat box also. So that's the correct answer only. That is fungi, right? And where will you place the smallest bacteria which is found on earth? That is Mycoplasma gallisepticum. Where will you place this Mycoplasma? Okay, Abhinav, tell.
Monera.
Yes, because we know that Monera is meant for those organisms which are unicellular and prokaryotic. Yes, so that's a correct answer. And quickly, who will tell me the criteria for five kingdom classification? Means what was the criteria which was used by Robert Whittaker for dividing the living organisms into five kingdoms? Okay. So Aditya, chance is given to you, but you tell me only one criteria. Yes, Aditya.
Complexity of cell.
Okay, the first one he told the complexity of the cell. Okay, then what is next, Akash Vijay?
Complexity of body structure.
Yes, complexity of body structure. Okay, what next, Chandraveer?
Ma'am, cell structure and type of nutrition.
Okay, mode of nutrition. Okay, then still one more is left. Yes, Ayush, tell. Ayush Gehlot, tell. One more is left. One more is still left, I told you. Okay, so Parth, you have written body organization, and same in other terms is given by Aditya also. That's correct only. I told you that term as phylogenetic relationship. So you can also name it as body organization, because here we simply study that how the body of an organism is organized. Okay, so that we discussed in previous class. Okay, so we discussed about Monera, Protista, and about fungi as a kingdom, right? Now the next kingdom in the sequence is the plant kingdom. Now about plants we already know and we have learned in lower classes also. So if we have to summarize their main important characteristics, then we will write that these are multicellular. These are multicellular, eukaryotic. They have a cell wall, and cell wall is generally made up of the material called cellulose, right? So they have a cell wall and they are autotrophic by nature, and generally these are non-motile, means they are generally found growing fixed with the substratum, and if anyhow a substratum is moving, then we can see a plant moving. Yes, Aditya, you're raising your hand. You want to ask something? Okay, no. So that is for plant kingdom, right? Then the last kingdom is Animalia kingdom. Animalia kingdom. So in Animalia kingdom, that is again like plants. These are also multicellular, eukaryotic, and yes, they don't have any cell wall. No cell wall is there, and these are heterotrophic, and yes, they can perform locomotion. And about that, what are the main differences between plant tissues and animal tissues? We already had a detailed discussion in chapter 6, that is tissues. Okay. So these are those characteristic features. If in exam you are getting a question that and list the important characteristic features of the kingdom Plantae or Animalia, right? Or what kind of organism can be kept, can be placed in plant kingdom. तो ये आपकी जो मेन हेडलाइन फीचर्स है, ये आपको टर्म्स याद रखनी है. मल्टीसेलुलर, यूकैरियोटिक, हैव सेल वॉल, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा, राइट? Now in your syllabus, we have a detailed discussion of plant kingdom and animal kingdom. Means still one step deeper we will move, that how their sub kingdoms are framed, then how many divisions are framed, and what are the characteristic features for each of these kingdoms, sub kingdom and divisions, etc., etc., right? So let's start with the detailed study of plant kingdom. Now that is plant kingdom. It is further divided into two more sub-kingdoms, and that division was given by the scientist, that is Eichler. Okay. He divided plant kingdom into two sub-kingdoms, and then each sub-kingdom is divided into many divisions, right? Now the overall criteria, I think someone's mic is on, so kindly mute it. Aryan, mute your mic. Yes. So here that is overall what criteria biologists they have used for further classifying plant kingdom into sub-kingdoms and further divisions. So the first one is, that is whether the plant body is differentiated into root, stem and leaves. Means the first criteria is the level of differentiation which is found in the organism's body. Means whether the plant body is having root, stem, leaves, and if it is having, whether these are the true roots, true stems or true leaves, right? Second was presence or absence of conducting tissue. So now we know very well that the conducting tissue in plants are, that is xylem and phloem. We have discussed their detailed structure also. So that was framed as the second criteria, that okay, if a plant body is completely differentiated into true roots, stems and leaves, then at second level we will check that whether it is having conducting tissues in the name of xylem and phloem, right? Then third was whether the plant is able to produce seeds. Okay, so now next level, okay, the plant body is having xylem and phloem for conducting water, minerals and food. Next level, one more higher, okay, now whether we will see it is capable of producing seed or not, right? And the last was, okay, if it is capable of producing seeds, then whether the seeds are naked or these are enclosed inside fruits. So what happens when you eat an apple? We eat the fleshy part, and just in the center of the apple we get some 5 to 8 seeds. Sorry, that are black in color, right? It means we say that seeds remain covered or they are enclosed within fruits, right? But it is not the case with every seed and in every plant. So the last level of categorization which we have done, it is based on the fact that naked seeds means the seeds are not enclosed inside the fruit wall. It means the ovule is not present inside the ovary, because you have learnt in 7th standard that it is the ovary which finally becomes the fruit. How we define the fruit? The ripened ovary is known as a fruit. So whether the plant is producing naked seeds or it is producing the seeds which are enclosed inside the fruits. So these are the 4 main criteria which we have used for further classification in plant kingdom, right? Now next I will just draw an outline flow chart for the classification of plant kingdom. And if you are sitting with a fair copy with you, you can just note down that flow chart, because it will help you in revising for your examination. Okay? And then we will move on along with that flow chart thoroughly. Okay. So we'll first start with, that is plant kingdom. And students, some of you might be thinking that the chapter is not in our syllabus, and I keep on repeating the same statement again and again, because I specially took this chapter for teaching, because many more topics will you find in higher classes which will be directly connected to this chapter, and many important terms we get in your competitive examination also. So kindly thoroughly go through the chapter and all the classes. Okay? So plant kingdom. So for the 2 main sub kingdoms which we have, yes, the first one is, that is Cryptogame. The first sub kingdom, here we have Cryptogame, and here we have Phanerogame. These are the sub kingdoms, right? Then kingdom, we are having sub kingdoms. Then next we come, that is divisions. So each sub kingdom here, so it is divided into 3 divisions. So first one is Thallophyta, second one is Bryophyta, and next is, that is Pteridophyta, right? So it is the sub kingdom, and these are, let me write here, so these are the divisions. Okay? Then let's come to second sub kingdom here, that is Phanerogame. So Phanerogame, it is divided, that is into 2 more divisions, that is Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. And here, that is Angiosperms is further divided into, that is monocots and dicots. Okay, so that part is not visible to you. So let me write in another way. So here we have monocots, and here that is dicots. And believe me, this is the simplest kind of flowchart which you can have from plant kingdom, because when you go to higher classes and if you're going to pursue studies in biology further, then here each division will become more and more complex, because it will have many more classes, families and order which you have to study thoroughly. Okay, but first your that is base regarding this outline classification should be clarified. Okay, so it is the kingdom, these two are the sub kingdoms, and these are the divisions, right? So first, that is plant kingdom. It is divided into two sub kingdoms, that is cryptogamy and phanerogamy. Now this division is done on the criteria that whether the reproductive organs of the plant, they are well developed and are they easily visible to, that is whosoever is watching. And third one, whether they are able to produce external flower, seeds, fruits, etc. Right? So that is the first level of classification on what criteria we have done. तो आपको याद रखना है प्लांट किंगडम के टू सब किंगडम्स हैं, क्रिप्टोगैमे एंड फेनेरोगैमे, एंड क्राइटेरिया इज बेसिकली दैट वेदर द प्लांट इज एबल टू, अगर आप एक लाइन में सम अप करेंगे क्राइटेरिया, देन वेदर द प्लांट इज एबल टू प्रोड्यूस एक्सटर्नल फ्लावर एंड सीड्स और नॉट, राइट? So now we'll start discussing one by one these sub kingdoms and their divisions thoroughly. Okay. So first one is that is cryptogamy. Now cryptogamy, the word in Greek, that is here we have cryptos. If you break down the word in two parts, so we have cryptos. Cryptos means hidden, right? And game means marriage. Game means marriage. So do remember that this breaking down of words, breaking down of this name of the subkingdom into separate parts and the respective meaning. Based upon that, many times we have got a question in your different kind of competitive examination, because it has got a very typical meaning in Greek. तो ग्रीक में क्रिप्टोस का मतलब होता है हिडन, और गैमे का और गैमोस का मतलब होता है मैरिज, राइट? विच इंप्लाइज दैट हियर द प्लांट्स दे हैव हिडन रिप्रोडक्टिव organs. So their reproductive organs, first of all, they are not well developed, right? And they are not easily visible to outside. They are hidden, means they are very inconspicuous by nature. Okay, and next which you can add here, these are those plants which don't produce external seeds and flowers. External seeds and flower means in these plants most of the time the means of reproduction is by the formation of asexual bodies called spores. And about the means of reproduction through spores we have learnt in 7th standard, right? So most of the plant species here in this subkingdom cryptogamy, they tend to reproduce by the means of spores. Okay, now the further categorization of cryptogamy into division like Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta, it is based on the fact that whether the plant body is, who's speaking?
Seeds and
I'm not able to. Mohini, I'm speaking something.
yes ma'am.
Tell.
मैम आपने थर्ड पॉइंट में क्या लिखा है, सीड्स एंड के बाद?
Seeds and flowers.
ओके
The flowers or fruits it can be called, but basically it goes for seeds and flowers. Okay. Yes. So that is the criteria, that is further division of subkingdom into these three divisions in cryptogamy. It is done on the basis that whether the plant body is differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. And second, whether they are having any conducting tissue for transportation of substances in their body. तो आपको याद रखना है क्रिप्टोगैमे को जो हमने फर्दर 3 डिविजन्स में डिवाइड किया है वो हमने 2 बेसिक क्राइटेरिया पे लिया है, दैट इज whether the it is body is divided into parts like root stem, means level of differentiation in the body you can call it, and second one, presence or absence of the conducting tissue. So based on that we have got 3 divisions: Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. For the third division, while pronunciation the alphabet P it will be silent. तो spelling में आप P लिखेंगे, but while pronouncing you will call it as Pteridophyta. As we pronounce that is pneumonia, their P is silent, so is the Pteridophyta. Okay. So let's see what are some important features for these each one. So let's first start with the Thallophyta. So here that is for Thallophyta. For Thallophyta, here the word Thallophyta we basically have derived from the word called thallus. Thallus, and thallus meaning that is bag-like. Bag-like. So here those organisms are placed in Thallophyta whose body shape is a bag-like. Bag-like means there is no differentiation. There is no differentiation of body into the parts like roots, stem and leaves. So the complete body looks like a common bag, thallus, and it is don't have any differentiation like as root, stem or leaf, right? So we say that the body of algae is just like a thallus. So the name comes Thallophyta. That is the first point. Second point, that these organisms which we and Thallophyta organisms commonly these are known as algae. डिवीजन का नाम थैलोफाइटा है और जिन ऑर्गेनिजम्स को हम थैलोफाइटा में रखते हैं उनको हम कॉमनली बुलाते हैं एल्गी. एंड हियर आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द मल्टी सेलुलर फॉर्म्स बिकॉज यूनिसेलुलर एल्गा वी हैव ऑलरेडी प्लेस्ड इन प्रोटिस्टा. ओके, so here multicellular algae are placed in Thallophyta. So being algae, these are predominantly aquatic by nature, means they cannot survive without water. For their survival, for their growth and development, they require the presence of water. That's why you might have observed that whenever that is summer approaches or during winters, in both of these seasons we hardly see algae, right? But as soon as monsoon approaches, we see green covering on our terraces, on the grounds, on the old walls, etc. Because in monsoon plenty of moisture is present, so these algae they start growing. Okay, another thing here, no conducting tissues are present. No conducting tissues are present. In fact, we say that among plants they are having the simplest kind of body organization, so they lack any kind of conducting elements for the transportation of substances within their body, right? So these are the main important points regarding alga. Ant, which you all know that they contain chlorophyll. They contain chlorophyll, it means, and that makes them autotrophic by nature. So their mode of nutrition is autotrophic by nature. They are containing chlorophyll, so they can prepare their food. And about that is a symbiotic association between algae and fungus, we have already learnt in lower classes. Okay, so there you have learnt that since algae don't have any root like structure for the absorption of water and minerals from the substratum or the soil, and on the other side fungi, it has got root like structures called hyphae, and collection we call it as the mycelium. That's why it forms a collaboration with fungus. Okay, so these are the main points and some examples which you can remember. Some examples which you can remember specifically. So first one, that is we have got Spirogyra. Spirogyra. Okay. So what is so special about Spirogyra? What is so special about Spirogyra as an example of plant kingdom? Spirogyra. Okay, Gulshin, you raised hand. Tell.
Ma'am, it's also known as pond silk.
Okay. Okay, one point she told that it is commonly known as pond's silk. Yes.
Ma'am, it has star-shaped chlorophyll.
Okay, and yes, I know some of you have written the answers in chat box. Okay. Okay, for example, Hardik. Okay, Aditya, you have written but a spiral DNA. DNA is always spiral because it has got that is two filaments and all that. वो तो spiral है ही. But in case of Spirogyra, the chlorophyll is arranged in the form of a spiral manner. Okay, and it is commonly known as pond's silk because it is the most common occurring algal form. Okay, and anyone why it is known as pond's silk? This I am throwing an extra question. Let me see who will tell me. Why Spirogyra is known as pond's silk? Why Spirogyra is known as pond's silk? No one? Okay, find out and let me know the answer in next class. Let me see if anyone has raised hand. Okay, Gulshin, you raised your hand. Tell.
Ma'am, because it has slippery sort of
Because it has a?
slippery nature.
Okay, it has slippery nature. Okay, Akash Vijay is writing that it has filaments. Due to its filament. Okay, you are on the bit track. Okay, find out the answer and let me know in the next class. If I forget to ask you, do remind me. कि मैडम आपने एक question दिया था. Parth, you are writing filaments are of silk. Is it like that? Okay, so Ayush is writing filaments are made up of silk and looks like thread. Next class में ढूंढ कर आना बेटा. Complete answer I want. Okay? Yes. So here that is one example is Spirogyra. Okay? Then few more examples that algae, and if you go for the type of algae, then algae generally we have based upon the kind of color they bear. Then we have got the three type of algae: red algae, brown algae, and that is green algae, which is containing that is chlorophyll, right? Okay, and some other examples which we have, that is ulva we have, then Eulothrix, Volvox, and one more is that is Chara. So don't pronounce it as Chara, it is Cara. Okay, because most of you just pronounce it as Chara, it is Cara. Okay, yes Hardik, that is also correct. Gelidium and Glaciolidaria, all these are that is other than your green algae. Yes, they are the examples of the red algae which Hardik Jain just quoted in the comment box. Okay, so these are some examples of the algae. And again I am telling, especially do stick to those examples which are mentioned in your NCERT textbook. As you must be knowing that in 10th standard you become that is quite suitable to appear in NTSC examination, and NTSC syllabus which they cover is your 9th and 10th complete syllabus. And while setting the paper for first level, they generally focus upon the textbook syllabus. So that's why I keep on telling, whatever the examples are given in NCERT, अगर बहुत सारे याद नहीं होते हैं कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, एटलीस्ट उतने याद करने की कोशिश जरूर करना है जो आपके NCERT बुक में प्रेजेंट है. ओके, सो दैट इज फॉर the first one, Thallophyta. Now next one is, that is Bryophyta. The second division of cryptogamy is Bryophyta. Bryophyta. Now the word that is bryos, that is amphibian or amphibia. Okay, so here that is Bryophyta, amphibians, that we know who are amphibians or what kind of organisms are called amphibians. Yes, what kind of organisms are called as amphibians? Okay, Chandraveer just told that which can live both in water as well as on land. Yes, correct only. For example, we have a frog, right? So frog can live in water as well as on land. But Bryophyta or bryophytes, they are referred as the amphibians of plant kingdom. That you have to remember specifically. These are known as amphibians of plant kingdom, but not truly for the fact that they can live in water or on land. No, they are called as amphibians of plant kingdom because they complete their life cycle half on land and half in water. Actually learn in higher classes that especially for the part of, that is in the part of reproduction, they do need the presence of water. Are you getting my point? तो अगर एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन बहुत कॉमन है that why bryophytes are known as the amphibians of plant kingdom, then do remember the specific answer is that they complete their life cycle, that is partially on land and partially in water, right? तो सिर्फ आपको एक टर्म मिल गया एम्फीबियन, सो जस्ट इट डजंट इम्प्लाई दैट द टर्म मीनिंग ऑफ एम्फीबियन इन फील्ड ऑफ साइंसेज which can live in both kind of environment. No, they complete half life on land and half life in water, so they are called as the amphibians of plant kingdom. And you have to remember that these are the bryophytes. So again you can have a question in multi MCQ form. Which of the following divisions are referred as the amphibians of plant kingdom? तो आपको फोकस करना है, आपको ढूंढना है bryophytes or bryophyta, right? So here other important features are, that is their body is differentiated into root, stem and leaf like parts. I have written leaf, root, stem and leaf like parts, means that although you can see in the organisms of this bryophyta root, stem and leaf like parts, आपको दिखेगा कि roots भी हैं, stem भी है, leaves भी हैं, but all these parts are not true. They are not true roots, no true stems, no true leaves. They are just simply are there to perform the function of respective part to minimum level. For example, in place of root, they have got a root like structure called rhizoids, which you learn in higher classes. they have got rhizoids. तो ट्रू रूट्स नहीं होती, रूट्स जैसे पार्ट्स होते हैं. सिमिलरली ट्रू स्टेम्स नहीं होती, स्टेम जैसे पार्ट होते हैं. सो दैट वी से, बट स्टिल it is bit advanced and developed than the Thallophyta, because Thallophyta, it was not having any of the body part, right? But again they don't have any conducting tissue. They don't have any conducting tissue like xylem and phloem, and these are found to grow in moist and damp places. In moist and damp places, जो बहुत पुराने मॉन्यूमेंट्स हो जाते हैं, खंडर होते हैं जहां पर हमेशा शेड रहता है, नमी बनी रहती है, there you can find them growing, right? And here you have their examples like that is Markensia, Rixia, okay, and here that is Barbula, Anthoceros, etc. Many more examples are there. And if you're going to pursue that biology in college also, then you have a detailed study about each and every organism. Okay, so as I can see, the time is almost up. So that is for Bryophyta and Thallophyta. And in next class, come prepared, because first I will ask you the questions between up to this particular topic, that I told you criteria for further classification in plant kingdom. Then we discussed about the outline classification. Then we discussed about the Cryptogame and the first two divisions, Thallophyta and the Bryophyta, right? And just let me see for the latecomers. And one more thing, students, it has been observed that many of you are not attending classes regularly. I can see the pattern in your attendance that you are coming for one class, then you are remaining absent for next 2 to 3 class. Means just you want to come and mark your attendance. Okay, yes, I am there. Then let me tell you clearly that your attendance is recorded and we are calculating the percentage of attendance. And if it is going to be continued from your side like this, you are going to be regular, then you may fall short of attendance. Even you won't be able to get the minimum attendance which is required to sit in your final examination. Because let me tell you that 9th and 10th, they both are board classes only. Okay? Okay, so Jaya, you are asking the question. Okay, you are asking the question. So we are talking about the classification of plant kingdom. Plants means they do have a chlorophyll. Okay? Thallophyta में स्पेशली लिखा क्योंकि क्लोरोफिल के अलावा भी उनके पास और पिगमेंट्स होते हैं. Because of that they become, that is brown in color or red in color. Okay? So they do have a chlorophyll. Okay, yes. So here, Arpita. Okay. Then Bhumika Soni is not there. Okay. Chehek Pareta, not present. Himanshi, not present. Aryan Kumar Singh, not present. Okay. Ansh Tomar, Hiranya, Hirday, who's this? Okay. Saurabh, Suraj, not present. Virender, Vishwesh,
Present, ma'am.
okay. Kaluram, yes, I marked your attendance. Vishnu Garg is not there. Jaya, present.
Present, ma'am.
Kiran Kaur, not here. Meenal Nagar, Parvati, Abhay Singh Rathore, not present. Okay. Chetan Rana, Chinmay Mudgal, Darsh Jain, Dhruv Prajapati, present. Okay. Manish Upadhyay,
Present, ma'am.
present. Nikhil, not present. Pradeep Sen, Praveen Sen, बाकी सब गायब है. ओके. विश्वेश कुमार धाकड़, not present. Okay. Okay, so we'll continue the same chapter in the next class. So we'll meet soon again. Till then, stay safe. Take care. Bye. You can.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm winding off the meeting. Bye.